I Miss the Christmas of Old. An audio article by David 2. This is going to sound weird to some people, but I miss the Christmases of old. I'm not talking about the Christmases of the 1950s or even the Christmases of the Industrial Revolution, when Charles Dickens crafted his legendary story about old Ebenezer Scrooge and the visiting ghosts. I'm not talking about a romanticized fantasy Christmas worthy of old movies and TV specials. I'm talking about the Christmases of my past. Back in my past, the Christmas season always started with Thanksgiving. Watching the parade on TV from New York City and seeing Santa at the end of it was the start of Christmas for us. We wouldn't be deluged with Black Friday sales weeks in advance. We wouldn't be seeing the Christmas stuff in the stores until November. No trees, no garland, no ornaments. The most we hear about Christmas before Thanksgiving would be the occasional TV commercial for some special Christmas album that we could call to order, and that catalog from Sears of things that would be nice to have but we would never get. We'd get the tree after Thanksgiving. Every year we'd go to the tree farm and we'd walk the distance in the cold to find that perfect tree for us. One that would have the bald spot we'd put against the wall. The one that would fit through the door and be tall enough that we would need a ladder to reach the top. The one that I would have to help drag in the cold to the back of the truck, and we'd have Christmas music playing all the while. Room would have to be made in the living room for the tree. My father would trim it so it would fit in the old metal stand while we pulled out the old boxes of ornaments from days gone by. Nothing would be new. Everything would be old. We'd have to stretch out the old lights and go over each bulb to make sure they worked. And not just for the tree but also for the ones we'd hang outside. My father and I would drag the tree into the house, dropping pine needles and sap along the way. We'd have to get it straight and then wire it to the wall so the cats wouldn't knock it over when climbing it. My mother would make sure the stand had plenty of water and ginger ale to keep it fresh. Then we'd decorate it. We'd have Christmas records from the 1950s and 60s playing as we decorated it. First with lights, then with the old ornaments. Every so often we'd have those few special ornaments, the ones we made or were made for us. The air would be full of Bing Crosby, Perry Como, Elvis Presley, Johnny Mathis, and Brenda Lee. My father was the one that put the star on the top. We weaved the garland around the tree like we were knitting a scarf. Then the plastic tinsel, which we had to keep away from the bottom of the tree, lest the cats and dog ate it. We used to drive around the neighborhood, admiring the decorations. Not every home would be decorated, but those that did would have grand displays. This would be the time when the stores would have Santa sitting on a throne surrounded by decorated boxes and a mock-up of the North Pole, and we'd sit in his lap and tell him how good we were and what we'd want for Christmas. And back then it wasn't considered weird. Kids would line up with their parents for this. I remember the fruitcake. Yes, there was more than just one, and yes, we'd eat it. But it wasn't the only treat available for the season. We'd bake Christmas cookies in the few weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas Day. My sister and I would help our mom bake special cookies with recipes that were handed down from her mother. Melted chocolate and confected sugar and flour and coconut flakes and crushed pecans and walnuts were all over the kitchen. And then we'd go to that one bakery that would have the special Italian sugar cookies. The ones that were colored green and red. The ones with the sprinkles and the jellied center. And all the cookies would last until after Christmas Day. I remember the eggnog. Not spiked, of course, because we were just kids, but just for that period of time we'd prefer it even over soda. I remember Christmas Eve and how magical it was for us. We'd eat dinner out, usually Chinese or that really good pizza place. Then we'd drive around neighborhoods and marvel at all the decorations. They weren't huge displays. Nothing that screamed major Broadway productions. No inflated figures or orchestrated LED displays with loud music blasting holiday tunes. At best they would be old-fashioned lights with wooden figures. Later we'd go to evening mass at church and the organist would play Christmas music. We'd hear on the radio that Santa was already spotted on NORAD radar making his rounds. That would get us excited. Before we went to bed, we'd make sure there was a glass of milk and cookies on a plate for Santa. We wouldn't be able to sleep. We were so excited for the next day. I would hear my parents watching Christmas Mass on the TV before finally succumbing to sleep. Christmas Day would last forever for us. We'd be up early. Too early for our parents, who had been up all night wrapping presents and stuffing the stockings. They barely got a couple of hours of sleep before we'd wake them up anxious to start the day. We'd come to the living room to see the illuminated tree with presents underneath it and stockings full of things. My father would make us breakfast, which would be delicious. It didn't matter what it was. It was delicious. Then we'd turn on the Christmas music and go through the presents. The stockings were first. We really didn't know what was in them, and that was the best part. Could be candy. Could be a watch. Could be socks or underwear. Could be a toy. Could be a little knick-knack. But no matter what, it was treated as treasure. Even the pets had their own stockings with something in them. Well, the fish were the only exception to that. Then the presents. Big boxes, small boxes, softly wrapped presents, sometimes even put in a gift bag. There was at least one present for everyone in the house. Sometimes there were things that we wanted. Sometimes there were things that were on our wish list. Sometimes there were things that we didn't want or wish for. The dreaded socks and underwear. Sweaters that may be too big or too small. But they were all cherished because they were from family, given with love. While we enjoyed our gifts, we'd entertain calls from family across the continent. Family we knew, family we barely knew, even some family members that we've never met or haven't seen in years. Everyone would call and everyone would have a turn wishing, Merry Christmas. The TV would have non-stop holiday music or a holiday movie marathon. A Christmas carol would be told and retold a dozen times by different actors and even some animated ones. And then the dinner. If Thanksgiving was always the feast to remember, it was rivaled only by Christmas. Ham and mashed potatoes and casserole and buns. The Waldorf salad with the little marshmallows and walnuts. The pitted black olives in a bowl that were the first to disappear. The good plates and the gold silverware. The toast. The feast. After that, it would be a blur. Yes, some more time to enjoy the gifts, maybe watch a few specials, but that would be the end of Christmas that year. The tree and decorations would be up for another week, keeping things bright to end the year, but Christmas itself would be over when the day was. Memories for us all to cherish until the next Christmas comes around. I miss those Christmases. It's not just because I'm older. Even as an adult, there were plenty of Christmases that were full of magic. Even when I knew what was in those boxes and stockings. Even after I became the one that bought all the presents, even the ones for myself. Even when I was the one that cooked the feast and bought the cookies. Even when I had seen all of the movies and specials and heard all the carols sung over and over. Even when the gifts would get smaller and be fewer in number. There was still some magic. But things have changed and the magic of Christmas has vanished, at least for me. It didn't happen overnight for me. Years of Christmas for one, or for an ever-shrinking family, left me feeling empty around this time of year. My parents are both gone now. Age and illness took them. My sister had long moved away and she has a family all her own. Relatives are distant. Friends are few and also distant. I get cards and gifts and I even still give cards and gifts, but the feeling just isn't there like it used to be. Being allergic to eggs took out having eggnog. Being a diabetic took out all of the Christmas cookies and candies. The feast is now a dinner for one. Gone was the big tree with all the presents underneath it. In its place is a small tree, minimally decorated, now for an audience of one, with no space to put presents underneath it. The stockings are still hung, but they'll remain empty. The magic of Christmas wasn't the gifts or the lights or the feast or the snacks or the decorations or the tree. The magic was the love and company. It was the people that cared for you and the ones that you cared back. Without that love that is given and received, Christmas is just empty. May your Christmas be filled with the same magic that used to fill mine. Even if it is one without gifts or lights or feasts or snacks or a huge decorated tree.